Okay. Hello, it is December 10th, and this is our monthly executive board meeting. And I'm going to call to order and call the roll. So let me flip to my screen here. All right, so starting with Vice President John Fernandez.
Present.
Vice President of Finance Chuck Unruh.
Present.
Secretary Mike Hoffpower.
Present.
Member at Large Randy Bauer.
Present.
Member at Large Leela DeCon.
Here.
Member at Large David Hayter.
Present.
Member at Large Lakshmana Vishwanath.
Here.
And Executive Director Renee Bartlett.
Present.
And I am here, Kevin Pryor. All right, do we have any conflicts of interest to disclose? Okay, hearing none. We will move on to the financial report. Chuck?
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, members of the executive board, I've been waiting for November, especially the financial reports. And while I was waiting, we've had a very difficult last 6 months, and we saw our way through it. The financial reports for November indicate that we're stable. Our cash equivalent at the banks, total cash equivalent, including the reserve fund, we're steady this month. So our erosion in operational accounts appears to have stabilized. Yes, we do have a few problems on the activity side that we overestimated on the revenue in the budget by a couple percent, and so we're seeing some declines all through our revenue. Now we're talking about something such as rating fees. We're up 6% year over year, but we're a little bit away from our budget. So those erosions I was very concerned about. However, they're offset because we're doing quite a bit of cost control. And on the expense side, we had some unfilled staff positions. And it all comes out to good news in that we are stable, looking forward to this large event that we just had this weekend, I believe, that had a record number or very close to a record number. And it'll be interesting to see the bottom line coming off of this event, because our event program has been the one that has set us back for the last 6 months. And even before Pan Am, our events just were not. To have a large event didn't necessarily mean you were going to have a large profit. But this one, everyone's feeling like we're back on track. We'll see what the results are. The preliminaries I guess, are very, very good. Renee will talk to those. And I just feel we've turned the corner. We have 2 more $100,000 payments coming up in the next few months. And our investments are solid. This month we saw $44,000 worth of capital gains and income from our investments. So that went right to the bottom line. So where are we? Well, we're up $56,000 for the month, but we're still down for the year $367,000 or some large amount. Now, the good news is we're ahead of budget. We budgeted for that loss once we found out that we were going to have a few problems with the event. And we're about $60,000 to the good on our budget. So as a financial report, this is what I was looking for. Thank you, November. Thank you for Renee and staff. and everyone that worked this recent tournament. Appreciate it. That's my report today.
All right, thank you. Any questions, comments on the report? Mike, you're muted.
Yeah, Renee, do we have any initial input at all from the K-12 given the record attendance?
Yes. So first we did set a record at this K-12 at 2501. The previous record for a K-12 was 2 years ago at the same location at
It couldn't have been
2461.
2501, must have been 2701.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's,
No, we had people actually drop out. And
Oh.
so the number that was originally put, I think initially I heard 2636, but then on the MSA, on the report, the tournament report, it came in at 2501.
huh.
And so
That's
it's
like
still a record.
200, that's like 200 and something withdrawals.
Yes.
Wow.
And still a record though. And we had good tournament coverage in terms of staff. US Chess did not send as much staff for this event because we were being cost conscious, but it looks like we've rounded the corner and this event will be very successful. And I'll have the final bills in this month and I'll be able to report what that final number is, but I'm very optimistic at what I'm seeing right now.
Renee, I know you use volunteers, or you were soliciting volunteers. How did that work out?
That was very much appreciated by the tournament staff that was there. We had a meeting today, a debrief with the senior tournament staff, and Dave Hayter joined that meeting just to get their input. They were very appreciative of not only bringing volunteers back. We had 9 people sign up, and they were very helpful in key areas that are appropriate for volunteers. They receive background checks as well as doing a safe sport volunteer training that was only a 15-minute training, but enough to equip them if they were confronted with anything that they needed to report. Not only that, but we used WhatsApp for all grade levels, and that was very helpful in getting tournament results. And so that level of communication was also appreciated by the tournament directors.
Going forward, are we ready for the dues increase in January? Have we notified everyone?
Yes, so we're posting something online and also sending e-blast to those who've let their memberships lapse over the last 3 months, as well as current members. We're going to remind them about the dues increase and encourage them to renew or renew early this month. So that will be coming out.
Okay, thank you.
The dues increase will be effective Jan 1.
So yes, that is what the board passed and what the delegates approved in terms of the increase. But in reality, a lot of people are on holiday on January 1st. So the staff is recommending that we actually have it trigger on January 2nd so that we'll have staff available on the tech side as well as in our office to handle any issues that might arise.
That's a pretty typical way of handling those sorts of things when it falls on a holiday in the business and the government world, that it actually takes effect on January 2nd.
All right, if there's no other items, we will accept the report from our Vice President of Finance. And we'll continue on to closed session. All right, and we are now back into open session after closed session. We had no new meetings, but as an executive board, we do want to thank all of the parents and all of the volunteers that worked so well over the last weekend to bring about the grades K through 12 nationals. It was a wonderful event. It was a record-setting event, and we all had a great time. And we are looking forward to our next big event in May with Super Nationals, and then followed later that year, meeting everyone in Spokane, Washington. So
Mr. President.
if that is it,
Mr.
Yes.
President,
Mike?
there was one thing in in closed session, in that we as a board discussed all of the delegates' motions from the annual meeting, and discussed and reviewed, that some were coming to the executive board, some going to the office, some going to various committees. And that we as a board agreed that the executive board liaisons will be reaching out to each of the committees to remind them of the task that they need to work, the motions that are in their particular lanes. And that the executive board itself will be addressing these motions in our monthly agenda as we go forward in preparation for the next annual delegates meeting.
Well said. Thank you, Mike. All right,
And
do I have a
Mr.
motion to adjourn?
Mr. President, I also have one correction on the record setting National K-12. The number was 2636.
2636. Thank you.
And I will move that we adjourn.
All right.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Have a good night, folks, and see you next month.
Mike, I need to visit with you.